coming. I didn't prepare a spiel or anything like that, but it's really so lovely for all of you to come to our film. We worked hard on it for many years, and so I really hope you enjoy it. Aziz probably has more prepared comments.
Not really.
Fuck.
Yeah, no.
So sorry, guys.
No, thank you all for coming. We need to thank a few people from the Lionsgate team that are here. John Feldenheimer, Michael Burns, Adam Fogelson, our chairman, Aaron Westerman, who was one of the first people I talked to about the script, who was so enthusiastic about it, our entire marketing PR distribution team at Lionsgate, who have been so supportive of this movie and put it in theaters. A lot of our cast and crew are here tonight. Thank you to them. You know, Seth and I, we always talked about this film early on about...
Premiering at Beyond Fest.
At Beyond Fest. We talked about Beyond Fest.
For years.
And yeah, we always were like, if we just do Beyond Fest.
15 years ago we talked about it.
Yes.
We were like, well, I hope they make a thing called Beyond Fest, or this is gonna feel pretty fucking stupid. And I hope there's 1,000 movies at it, and we're the dead last one.
Yes. We could be one of the 94 films.
Exactly, yeah. They say save 94th for best. You know the old saying. You want to be number 94.
Yeah, the very 91 is like,
the most prestigious slot,
yeah.
Notoriously.
But you know, I love this theater. I saw Lawrence of Arabia here. I saw Alien here, and no joking. I did always think when I came to those screens, oh, it'd be awesome to show Good Fortune here. And you know, when did you first come to LA?
To where?
To LA.
In 1998, I think.
98.
And the premiere for Donnie Darko, the first movie I was in, was at this theater.
Wow.
Which was very cool. And this was one of the few theaters that streamed the interview here, and so I watched you here the night it came out with a bunch of very scared, nervous people who, as they were watching the movie, you could see them feeling this is not worth dying for.
Yes. I came to LA. I came to LA for the first time maybe like, I don't know, almost 20 years ago. And I was so scared being here. I was so scared of the 101. I didn't know what to do. First time I drove here, I accidentally went to Universal Studios, which was so embarrassing. And to be here all these years later and to have a movie that we shot in LA, we both loved shooting here. And I think this film paints a particular portrait of LA. And to work here, it was such a pleasure for us. And yeah, Good Fortune, you know, everybody says it's a love letter to LA in part, and that's true. And yeah, to have Seth, I have to thank him, especially he read the script and called me in 2 hours and said he was in. It's the fastest any
I didn't actually read it, I just
even more flattery,
yeah, exactly.
Even more trust. But
I did it, I liked it.
Yes, so thank you to Seth. Thank you to the rest of our cast that can't be here. Kiki Palmer, the wonderful Keanu Reeves. They send their love. And enjoy Good Fortune.
Thank you for coming.
City, we love the way that Aziz portrayed it. So, let's get this going. We don't have tacos, but we do have the two best burrata boys you've ever seen. If you can please welcome back to the stage, Seth Rogen and Aziz Ansari.
Comfy.
Yeah, this is
very cushy. There's a lot more cushioning than I thought there was going to be.
More comfy than the director's chair.
Look at this. Beyond Fest.
Yes.
We're scale now.
This is above and beyond.
Yes.
That interview screening, that was Beyond Fest. I dressed as the Statue of Liberty.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was a lot of ironically, very American propaganda at that screening. There's a lot of people waving flags and shit, yeah.
We were just trying to save our lives.
It was a good time, exactly. And again, I feel like people are like, I wished it was funnier if I was risking my life to be here. Could use one more set piece.
Yeah. Well, where do we go? So, Aziz, let's start about the beginning of this, because this film is supremely relevant for right now. But at what point did you start writing this film? Where did it come from?
I started writing it during the pandemic, and I kind of had like the first 40 pages to get to these two guys and the guy using the credit card, and I didn't know where it would go from there. And then I was like sending it to, you know, Alan Yang and a couple other friends. Sometimes it's helpful to get some other eyes on it. And then I was trying all these different things, and then I tried this thing with the angel, and that seemed to stick, and yeah, it went from there.
It just opened up. And then at what point did Seth become involved? Because you said at the beginning that Seth, you read it instantly, and
Yeah.
you made the call to jump in. Did you write with Seth in mind, or?
Yeah, I wrote with Seth as the angel in my head originally. I was like, oh, Seth would be funny as this dumb angel guy. And then
It'd be also funny as this dumb rich guy.
yeah, he's funny as any dumb guy. But we met with some people about playing the Jeff guy, and you know, Jeff is a tough character because you gotta kind of be annoyed with him, but you gotta like him and want to see him on this journey. And I couldn't really think of anybody that could do it as well as this guy. So then we're like, well, let's find someone to be the angel. And then Keanu fell in our laps, and we were off to the races.
So what was your reaction when you first read it? Did you read it as Jeff when you first got it, or did you read it as the angel?
I read it thinking maybe I would be the angel. I sort of just read it in general, and honestly, I was kind of open to any part in it. Like I don't know if I'm the kind of actor who like. I kind of look at the thing as a whole and think like, what's the best version of this? You know what I mean? And yeah, I remember, me and Aziz met with several like big movie stars to be the Jeff guy, and I remember thinking, just like, oh, like you'll just fucking hate this guy. Like they're just all too good looking and too actually like.
Not as funny as
no, they're not. It's not as funny. If you're actually it seems less funny. And so I remember Aziz saying maybe you should be the rich guy and Keanu Reeves should be the angel. And I was like, oh, that'd be way better. Yeah.
So Keanu, you say he fell in your lap, but how did Keanu become involved?
We had this angel part, and people started talking about it, and our casting director, Carmen Cuba, called me one day and was like, what about Keanu? And I was like, Keanu Reeves? And she said, yes, Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Thompson. Another guy.
And I said, would he really do this? And they're like, yeah, his people really like it for him. He'd meet with you, and he was in London where I was at the time, and so we had a meeting, and he just felt like the guy. There was something just so, there was something about him. I watched a lot of his films before we had the meeting, and I was watching those comedies he did, like Bill and Ted and Parenthood, and you could see little pieces of his comedic ability that if you put it into this Gabriel character and ramped it up, it would be really good. And he also has this thing about him where, he seems kind of eternal. I don't know, like, if I told you Keanu was like 3,000 years old, you'd be like, yeah, I think he is. Like, and kind of putting all that together, I mean, he was just so dialed in. I mean, we were just having so much fun coming up with more stuff for that character because he was just being so funny. It was just one of these things where we were on set, it's like, well, he's really killing. And then it's just a character that's a dream to write for because the guy's never done anything. So it's like, all right, well, what if he uses the internet? Oh, he's just gonna look up photos of baby elephants. And he just kept coming up with more and more stuff. It was super fun.
At the same time, you're like, I kind of believe Keanu Reeves has never used the internet, maybe. Like, there's something about him where you're like, yeah, he seems above all that.
Yeah. Did you write him smoking? Where did that come from? Because the first time I saw that, he holds that so well. When he's smoking, he's got the hat, like he's lived in that.
He smokes all day.
Yeah. He smokes and he looks so cool smoking, and I think I added that pretty late on because I was like, oh, what if
He smokes and he rides a motorcycle, and so he's objectively the coolest guy out there. I have a very 10-year-old's view of what's cool still to this day. And when I see a guy with long hair smoking on a motorcycle, I'm like, that guy's fucking cool.
That's definitely him, and I saw him smoking, and I was like, oh, he's so cool looking. This is so bad for the kids in the audience. But I thought about, Gabriel spiraling and drinking and smoking and really getting beaten down, and that made me laugh.
What was it? Because this is your first feature, right? It's been in TV before. What was the transition like there? And especially when you've got such a stacked cast with Sandra and Kiki and obviously Seth and Keanu. Challenging, or was it like you just pulled everything out of your TV role?
It's challenging, and I had a training ground with Master of None, but a film is different. I don't know, you've kind of done the reverse from doing films and going into TV, but I definitely have to give Seth a lot of praise and thanks for how much he helped me. Because writing a screenplay for a movie, it's different than the show. There's just different things you have to achieve and pull off, and you're holding people's attention in a different way. So there were challenges, but you know, I couldn't ask for a better guy to help figure this shit out. Because I mean, I remember being in the theater laughing at all these movies he made, from Pineapple Express and Superbad and everything, and being at you know, premieres like this and just dying and seeing the movies work, not only comedically but also just story-wise and just emotionally. So, you know, he was there looking at drafts. We would meet every couple of months and read stuff, and you know, and then it comes together and editing and everything. But it was definitely a challenge, yeah.
Was it, and then Seth, for you, kind of different, right? Because you're so closely involved. You've got your things that you've written, you've directed. Did you see yourself almost as a mentor in some capacity?
No. I saw myself as an actor. Which, and I'm used to doing many jobs on set. And so when I'm primarily just doing one job on set, it feels, it's like a real relief, honestly. Like, it is much easier, and I'm doing much less throughout the day. And in a way, I prefer to do more because I just have more downtime, and I'm just like fucking scrolling Instagram and shit more in any given day. But no, I was, and I'm used to doing this as well. I work with a lot of people who it's their first like film. I've been in a lot of people's first movies, and so. To me, that's like a process I'm very comfortable with. Is sort of, I don't think mentor is the right word. I've made a lot of movies. I've written a lot of movies, and so I have and TV movies are very different. And so I think I just at this point have a pretty good understanding of like what kind of architecture a movie needs to support its own weight, basically, and to support its length and story and tone and characters and all that. But that's stuff that just...
Why don't you want to be my mentor?
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds pretty mentoring. I've just done a lot of stuff, and then I'm able to give younger people advice, but I'm not, don't pay me with that brush.
But then if it doesn't turn out, I'm like, I didn't fucking have anything to do with this shit. I don't want the responsibility of mentoring. I'll throw advice from afar.
I'm more of an intern, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Did the script allow you guys to, not just you, Seth, but Keanu, did you give people room to improvise? Because you're bouncing, I would imagine you're just bouncing stuff off each other all the time. And yeah, let's go there.
Yeah, we definitely improvised, but we also spent a lot of time rehearsing and just kind of looking at the script. And you know, Keanu and Seth would come over to my house and we'd read through the scenes, and that's where we would come up with things like, you know, the smoking scene, that scene I remember us working on, or even little things like whenever they're walking to the party where Seth would say, "It's my birthday," and then Keanu goes, "Happy birthday!" And I remember he was like, "I think Gabriel would say happy birthday then." I was like, "Yeah, that sounds right."
And it's interesting because you two and then Keanu, the three of you've got really different kind of, I would say kind of
energies?
Yeah, but comedic speeds, right? And so how did you calibrate that? How did you bring everyone together?
I mean, like, I'm good. I'm great with like a dumb, slow guy. Like that's my bread and butter. Like, give me like a guy who's like rhythm's a little slower than me. I can be frustrated with them. Anytime I want to like shake someone and get them to be like, hurry the fuck up and spit it out. Like that's kind of what I'm always aiming for. And so me and Keanu, I think, tapped into like a great dynamic that was very easy. And me and Aziz, I mean, we've just worked together so much and known each other for so long, I think that, again, we kind of have a natural like rhythm and sensibility.
Shorthand playing off of each other. Of the film that we just saw, how much is concrete from the script, and then how much was you guys just running?
I'd say most of it's in the script.
Yeah, there's little things here and there.
There's definitely moments that are, you know...
It's like when we're eating the burger for the first time.
That was one of the first scenes we filmed, when they were eating the burger, and I remember that was so fun, and I remember just, you know, I love to act, but there's something fun about just sitting behind the camera and watching these guys and cackling, and you know, I remember this was our first big scene with Seth and Keanu, and I remember being back there and I was like, Seth, or I said, Keanu, take a bite. And Seth goes, you're a big boy now. And then Keanu, take a bite. And goes, yeah, I'm a big boy. And they did exactly how I had it in my head, and it was very magical.
About the city as a character, because
Sure.
it really comes through. Always designed to be in Los Angeles, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was like a moment where like, could it be Vancouver? And I was like, I really don't think so. I think it's gonna read like Vancouver if we do that. Let's stick with LA. So we're very blessed to be able to shoot in LA.
And putting all of the locations together, like all the places here. Do you
Yeah.
have affinity with those, or was it a case of what was available?
I mean, a lot of times in the script, I wrote specific places, and you know, I wrote Dunsmore in, and you know,
All the rich guy shit was easy.
Yeah. Where's he gonna go? Yeah, he's gonna go there. And,
We do all that stuff.
yeah. But even like that taco place, I'd always thought about that taco place because it just kind of feels very LA by the 99-cent store and stuff. But I have to give a shout out to our location manager, our location team, Jay Trainer and his team. Jay's even in the movie. We spent so much damn time together. I was like, hey, let's put this guy in here. He was making me laugh. And it was challenging because, you know, we were running all around LA trying to get all this stuff and get it done. But I love that we showed the neighborhoods that we showed between Los Feliz and Eagle Rock and Koreatown. I mean, that was kind of what I wanted to show. I wanted to show an LA that I knew and that felt familiar to me, and gave the film a unique LA. And you know, I watched that film, LA Plays Itself, when I worked on the film, which is an incredible movie if you haven't seen.
It's the best.
Yeah, and I feel like we came through with our LA here.
Yeah, it feels lived in. It feels like a real representation of Los Angeles, which is really rare. And also for films made in LA, you know, you got to go back to the 80s where you saw LA, but it was a really stylized version. This feels lived in. It feels honest. The film itself as well, the themes of dealing with privilege, dealing with class, the division there, like that feels really honest as well. Can you talk about how you bridge the comedy within this, trying to make something that is obviously a comedic film first, but has really got, we'll talk about the heart separately, but the message that you've got behind this and the principle that you've got in the film?
Well, when I originally started writing it, I almost was writing more of a drama version, and I was like, I can't do this, because I'd been doing more drama stuff, and I wanted to be doing a comedy, and that was a fun challenge to figure out, well, how do you make this funny? But to me, like, life is a comedy. It's not super, like, even in my darkest moments, I end up laughing at something, and, you know, keeping that in my head, you know, yeah, this guy's sleeping in his car. That's pretty dark. But okay, he's falling asleep and he's trying to listen to the sleep thing, and then the thing goes off. And, hey, want to listen to the pod with no ads? I mean, that, you know, not when I was sleeping in my car, but when I was sleeping at home, I was trying to sleep in a. Oh, that'd be good to happen to him in the car, you know. And that's a fun challenge to kind of keep it funny, but also keep it honest and not, you know, have jokes that are not feeling true to the character.
Did that stuff really kind of finding that balance, that tonal balance? Is that something that you found in the script, or did it really come to life when you were cutting the film?
I mean, I had it in the script because I wanted it to read funny and to people to be like, oh, this is going to be funny and it's not going to be sad to talk about this stuff. And so, you know, I spent a lot of time doing research. I actually did DoorDash for a bit.
Go back. Don't want to say that. You did DoorDash.
I gave him 1 star.
Yeah. I did a ride along with this guy, and it was just like what happened to Jeff. All that stuff that happened to Jeff, that was all from that.
One ranch,
yeah,
1 star.
Yeah, I mean, not 1 ranch, 1 star. That we put in, but like mainly like, oh, I almost backed into a telephone. And I was like, oh man, I'm used to cars with the cameras and the beeps. And in my head, I was like, I need the cameras, I need the beeps. And then I wrote that in for our friend Jeff.
That's crazy. How long were you riding along with the DoorDash?
I just did it for like a couple hours, and I was like, yeah, I get it. This sucks.
When something sucks, you get it pretty fast.
Yeah.
It's like, this isn't gonna get better.
Seth, to immerse yourself in your character, did you ride along with the DoorDash?
To immerse myself in character, I've embodied being a rich asshole for the last decade and a half.
We've been both going method for years.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you sent the script to my friend, my writing partner, Evan, to read and give notes, and Evan was like, I'm reading the script in a sauna.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of one of the goals, was like to make me and my friends uncomfortable, because you can watch Succession and be like, hey, I'm not Kendall, I'm not in a helicopter, and then it's like, well, I do have a cold plunge. That's hitting a little close to home.
Yeah, I'm always happy to make fun of that stuff, and like to me, the more it makes fun of our actual, the lifestyle of the kind of rich and oblivious, as I say, our lifestyle, the funnier it is, and the truer it is, which is better,
Let's talk about Kiki.
Oh, love Kiki.
Yes. And she's the model grounded in this film. She's the beating heart.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did Kiki come aboard? Was she the dream person? I mean, you've got such a dream ensemble.
Oh, thanks. Well, I mean, Kiki was in my head because we'd been working on this other project together that didn't come to fruition, but I met Kiki on that and really liked her a lot. And when I was writing this character for Elena, she was definitely in my head because she's able to do so many things. She's so hilarious, but she has so much heart, and she has a lot of passion. And I thought she would be great for Elena, and luckily worked out.
Yeah, it's beautiful. She plays that role so perfectly, and she bounces off you like so well, and you really feel empathy for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like far more so, with all due respect, Seth, far more so than your character.
That's all right.
What do you want people to take away from this film? Because there's a lot in there, and it's easy to walk out of this and say it's a great comedy, but you've got some commentary in there as well. What do you want audiences to walk out with the most?
I think that's for them to decide. What I think is more important to me is that they see this film in a theater with a crowd, because I think the way you guys see it, that's the way I would dream everybody gets to see it. And I think Seth and I, for us, the theatrical experience, particularly for comedies, is really important. And I do stand up, and if you do stand up, there's 1,000 people there, 2,000 people, and I don't think people realize how much the people are a part of the experience. If I just went to your house and yelled jokes at your face, it's not the same thing. And it's kind of the same thing with a movie, to like be here and to be kind of closed off for a bit, not be on your phone, to really be there and be around other people. I think it's a different form of entertainment, and it's something that I hope stays with us and keeps growing.
Yeah, I mean, we desperately need it. I mean, as you were writing the film, and you wrote it with the intention of being theatrical, right? So
yeah.
As you're constructing the film, as you're thinking about the beats that you're working through, are you constantly thinking about audience reaction in this?
Well, I wanted it to feel big in the way the cinematography and everything was done, so it would feel worthy of the big screen. And our cinematographer, Adam Newport-Berra, incredible DP, I think he gave us that. And yeah, I mean, whenever we screened the movie, like, and did preview screenings, that was so exciting to see people laugh, and to it was so interesting to kind of do that process and learn, what people thought about things. I mean, it's crazy now. They like, you go to Burbank, they give 300 iPads to people, and then, you're just standing in the back with the fucking executives and like, what's the number gonna be? And then in like 5 seconds, like, oh, everybody said this, and it's kind of interesting. But it reminded me of stand-up, how you workshop stuff and you kind of refine and tweak. I mean, it's a little bit different with a film. It's not quite as easy to tweak, but it was similar to that process, and the audience reaction was so cool to kind of observe and play with.
It's really interesting. I mean, the version that I saw, which was only a couple of months ago, to the one today, like, you can see those changes. Like, this thing runs, it's fast, it's tight. The different iterations, how did you find yourself working through that? Was it pressure, or were you like, oh no, I'm going to give the room to the audience and let them kind of guide me on this?
In terms of how the editing went along?
Yeah. With what the film that we've seen today.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing that was interesting is, Keanu hurt his knee, so we had to delay some of the filming because of Keanu. Yeah, he broke his kneecap. Yeah,
He's never hurt himself on one of these John Wick movies.
No, he's been fine.
He made 4 Matrix films, never hurt himself.
They filmed the whole Matrix highway chase.
Yeah,
no problem.
no, not a scratch. And then the day we were shooting the cold plunge sauna shit, he was changing out of his bathing suit between takes, and he fell and cracked his kneecap in half.
Yeah.
And then if you watch the movie again, you will notice he's almost never walking anywhere. He's sort of just standing there the whole time. It just cuts and he's somewhere else. And he kept trying to walk, and he was like, he would walk like this. We were like, Keanu, no, don't walk. I got it, it's fine. We're like, it's not fine. It doesn't look right, dude. You look all fucked up. Got it, it's okay. We're like, no, don't, please don't. Every time I got in the car with him, it was like, you could take a day off. It's fine, I got it.
No, he didn't even take one day. I don't even think he took a day off.
Took like an afternoon off.
Yeah.
After cracking his kneecap in half.
We had to force him to do that. And he wore a leg brace and shot most of his stuff with a leg brace, and we painted that out in VFX or whatever. But there were some things like the salsa dancing where it's like, dude, you can't salsa. We got a hole. And so we came back later, and so we had a couple of days where we were shooting after I'd already had an edit, so I was able to grab a couple of things and tweak a couple of things based on how the movie was playing. Like, oh, this was a little confusing, maybe we can change this. And so that was kind of a nice present.
It was nice he broke his knee.
Yeah.
It made the film much better.
If you're ever making a film, break your lead actor's kneecap. You'll be able to come back.
But
get a few more shots.
It's crazy. I didn't even think about it at the time, but like Keanu could have easily been like, "Hey man, I'm out. See you later," and then a movie over. You know what I mean? Like the guy's so busy, he's got so much stuff going on. He could have easily bailed on us.
I almost did that.
Yeah. Just because you were tired.
Because I thought it looked painful. I'm like, I don't know if I can be around this. It's yucky.
But he stuck with us.
What stress did that put on you as the filmmaker, though? Because you're carrying everything at this point, right?
I think I was thinking about so much other stuff, it never really passed through my head. I didn't realize until later on that, oh man, that could have been the end of everything,
Yeah.
I mean, when we also stopped during the writer's strike and we had to come back, and that was pretty intense because you had to make sure everybody's schedules would work out and things, but thankfully it all did.
So you wrote it, you directed it, and you produced it, and you starred. Would you do that again?
Yeah, I'm planning on doing it again very soon. Yeah. He's a busy guy now. He's got his big show and everything. He ain't got time.
Out of those 4 roles, which are the ones that you like the most, and which is the one that you like the least?
The one I like the most, the one I like the least. I mean, producer, I'd say the least.
That's the worst job.
Yeah, that stinks.
That job sucks.
That's just like, hey, this thing that's not fun to fix is fucked up. Can we fix that? That's not fun. Most fun? I don't know. What would you say is most fun? You do all these things.
Directing's probably the most fun.
I kind of lean to directing too, actually. Yeah, I mean, when I there was something some behind the scenes clip or something they were getting me to prove, and it was when we were doing the burger scene, and it was just me back there cackling, and I was like, oh wow, that is when I have a lot of fun. I mean, when we shot the stuff where him and Keanu were in the car driving, I was just like huddled in the back seat. They normally put you like in a follow van, and they're like, yeah, you'll be on radio, and I was like, those things always cut out. I'm just gonna crawl in the back seat. I'm a small guy, it'll be fine. So I was like underneath them and yelling jokes, and that was some of my favorite memories from doing the movie.
Seth, do you have any favorite memories of making the movie?
I mean, that shit was fun, honestly. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because, hanging out, getting to know Keanu was like a dream for me. Like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was probably like the first movie I was like a fan of, like when I was a kid. Like, I think it came out when I was 7 years old or something like that, and I was obsessed with it, and Parenthood is a film that I always really admired and looked up to, and he's so good in it. And he has that line where he's like, it's all about slapping the salami. And like, I didn't even know what it meant till like 20 years after I saw it. I was talking about jacking off. I just always thought it was so great. And I genuinely, like, The Matrix was one of my favorite movies of all time. There was 3 years where like all I did was smoke weed and watch The Matrix. And then I legitimately think the John Wick movies are some of the best made films that like exist in Hollywood today, and like I love those movies. Like, I think they're impeccably well done and they're incredible. So like, he's someone to me who I've always been a huge fan of it. And the days Aziz is referencing, where like it was like me and Keanu in the front seat, and Aziz like in the trunk of the car screaming at us, and just getting to drive around with Keanu, be like, what was it like to make Point Break? What the fuck was that like? And he would just talk about it. Like he would love telling stories about it. And so, I would just ask him to tell me stories about all my favorite movies that he made throughout my life. And he was very accommodating, and he was such a sweetheart. And he's one of the few celebrities, I'm not like this, who is exactly what you're hoping they're gonna be like. When I meet people, I see the disappointment set in.
It's a little more business than you
Right
expect.
away. Oh yeah, they're like,
I
oh
thought
no.
we were gonna be smoking weed. Like, I'm producing right now.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh no, this is bad. But he's like exactly what you want him to be. And I can't imagine anyone walks away from an interaction with him being disappointed, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I second all that, and yeah, it was weird because I think it's different when you meet celebrities you watch growing up, and I think we both grew up watching, you know, the films you mentioned. For me, same thing. Speed. I mean, at the
Speed, yeah.
Speed as well.
I saw Speed at Saul Moscovich's birthday party when I was a kid. One of the greatest days of my fucking life.
Oh, I didn't tell you this. So when we premiered the film at TIFF in Toronto, Alex Winter came to the screening, and I saw them both, and I didn't know he was coming, and I saw them both together, and he was like, "Great film," and I was like, "Ah!" It was so.
He got in a phone booth and disappeared.
Yeah, they both disappeared. But yeah, it is interesting because people are around Keanu. He's got so much folklore around him. People just ask him questions, and he's so generous. And he added this element to the whole movie that just made it a little bit more iconic for me. I mean, I don't think I told you this story, but so. I think my funnest times of making anything are when it most feels like I'm just like a little kid just doing stuff, silly stuff, and just playing and having fun. And one of those examples that I remember, for some reason it's popped in my head, when Keanu was reading the script, I was like, oh my God, like, think about this guy. And like the end of The Matrix, like he closed that page, it's like, whoa, he flies into the fucking sky. And then I was saying this to you, and you were like, that's what happens in this movie too. And I was like, oh shit, that is true. And then one day in the edit, when we were doing the sound mix, I was like, hey, we gotta do something. You know, sound mix, you're paying for time is money, you're doing all the color correct sound mix and stuff. When we're doing the sound mix, I was like, hey, we gotta do something. They're like, what? I was like, take the Rage Against the Machine track, Wake Up, and sync it so as the taco goes up. Down, 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 come on! And we spent like 15 minutes just trying to get it exactly right. And I don't think anyone will ever see that. That was just for us, but it was so cool.
I gotta say, don't change the frame in this thing. I don't think
I can. They get mad. I think it's in theaters in like a week or two, so it's too late.
October 17th.
Yes. Tell your friends to see it in the goddamn movie theater.
We're certainly not disappointed in you, Seth, and certainly not disappointed in you, Aziz. You've made a beautiful film. It's a beautiful love letter to this city. The character's phenomenal. What you've done and the statement that you've made, the politics behind this film, it comes to a beating heart right here. So thank you for making this film. Thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for being part of Beyond Fest. Film number 91, Seth. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you all.
Aziz Ansari and Seth Rogen.
Thank you.